Afade, good morning. This is the Commission on Post-Mortem Examination. Today's date is Wednesday, September 18. It is now 10:24. We apologize for the delay. We are located at the conference room, suite 412 of the Bank of Hawaii building in Naganya. I wish to call this to order, and our roll call will go down here now. Chief Stephen Ignacio.
Present.
Ms. Lillian Perez-Posadas.
Present.
Ms. Teresa Ariola.
Present.
And myself, Douglas Moylan. We have a quorum. Oh, I'm sorry. Dr. Samir Abral.
Present.
Doctor, am I pronouncing your last name correctly?
Umbrale.
Umbrale?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I apologize. Okay. We'd also like to acknowledge our other staff and guests, Ms. Joanna Bamba from the Office of the Chief Medical Examiner, and Aaron Grajek for Senator Chris Barnett. We also have Nikki Esipulo from the Medical Examiner's Office. So at this point, the compliance with the open government law and Public Law 3634. The publication and agenda meetings were published at the Guam Daily Post on Wednesday, September 11, 2024, and on Friday, September 13, 2024. Meeting notice was published on the GovGuam Public Notices portal and the AG's office website as well. We have the minutes on page 11. We'll unless there's an objection, we'll approve it subject to correction.
If I may, Mr. Chair, Mr. AG, I just want to comment. I wasn't present because I was off island, but Dr. Dustin Prince was representing Lawrence.
Absolutely.
He wasn't recognized as being present at the meetings.
So we'll make a note on that. That will indicate, and yes, he was.
Okay,
I remember that.
Thank you.
I think the last two meetings we had.
Thank you. The second comment I have is on page 3. It mentions Director Camacho made a motion for the commission to begin the recruiting process, but he's not recognized under the commission members being present.
Thank you.
Is that Director Peter John Camacho?
Let me have it rechecked. I know that they were listening to the meeting minutes if he was present.
Okay.
But thank you. Yeah, if he's in there, obviously he should have been on the front.
Thank you. And that's all I have, sir.
Thank you very much, Administrator. Okay. So if, unless there's an objection, might we move Dr. Su, put him as this part of the agenda? We have him on Zoom. That was the primary reason why we wanted to meet today, and the need for having a medical examiner. So if we can, unless there's any objection.
No, I make a motion, Attorney Moylan, to move Dr. Shu ahead of the other scheduled items on the agenda.
I'll second.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Any objections?
No objection.
Okay, so let's do so. Dr. Sewell, thank you for being present.
Thank you.
If I might inquire, which state are we speaking to you from?
I'm at Texas now.
Very good, thank you. So, Fred, I'm going to let you start the negotiations and the discussion on this item.
Hey, Dr. Su, I'll have each of the commissioners introduce themselves, and maybe you can give us a little quick background about yourself. I can tell you, thank you very much, Mrs. Posadas. Our GMH people did help us and verified your qualifications. So, Mr. Chairman, the candidate is qualified for the job. But maybe we can first start from some introductions, and I'll go from my left side, which is Dr. Umbrale. Maybe introduce yourself as a commission members.
Sure, thank you. I am Samir Umbrale. I'm a medical oncologist and hematologist. So I treat patients with cancer and disorders. I've been living in Guam since 2016. It's my first job out of fellowship. So we have family here, and we've been here 8 years. We came here for a 3-year stint, and we love it. People are very accommodating, very collegial atmosphere to work with, both in my clinic where I work at FHP and at Guam Memorial Hospital where I student consultation. So I'm also the president of the Guam Medical Society, which is made up of healthcare professionals in Guam. We're looking forward to having a new chief medical examiner here. Sure, if you accept the position, you really like living in Guam. Looking forward to this.
And just to, and I apologize, I have my deputy Fred Nishihira here. He's to my left. He's been assisting with a lot of the logistics of this meeting. My name, Dr. Sue, is Douglas Moylan. I took office in January of 2023. This is, I believe, the third Commission on Post-Mortem exam meeting we've had. I've met Dr. Nine personally and throughout the different projects that we've been working on. And it was with great loss that I guess he had to move to Ohio now. So we're in a position that we need to have him replaced. And I have Guam, an island population of about 170,000 plus, in order to have a chief medical examiner provide the important services. I've got about 33 years of experience as an attorney, and this is the second time I've served as the Attorney General to the people of Guam. I, of all people, know, and I was back in the time of Dr. Espinola, the late Dr. Espinola, was a great medical examiner. You become part of the community when you live on Guam, and you get to know everybody. So thank you for showing an interest in this.
Thank you.
Good morning, Nafari, Dr. Su. I'm Steve Ignacio, the Chief of Police for the Guam Police Department. I've been in the Guam Police Department for 37 years. I've been the chief since 2019, and I have some familiarity with your application. I believe you're an applicant in our first round after Dr. Espinola stepped down. So I thank you again for your interest in serving as a medical examiner for our people in the community of Guam. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Today, Dr. Sue. My name is Teresa Ariola. I'm not sure if you can see me. I'm the one waving. Okay. There. I am the Director of Public Health and Social Services. I'm a recent confirmation, but I am no stranger to the health and human service field. I have been in this position in the healthcare field for this administration for the last 5.5 years, and recently been confirmed by the legislature as the Director of Public Health and Social Services. So I too had a very wonderful relationship with the late medical examiner, Dr. Espinola. And the island has been struggling to have a consistent medical examiner. And so I'm glad to hear that this is your second stint of interest to serve the people of Guam. And I look forward to the further discussion. Thank you.
Day, Dr. Sue. My name is Lillian Perez-Posadas. I am a registered nurse by education and by practice. I am the hospital administrator. And because we house the chief medical examiner office at one of our sections of the hospital, we're going to be working closely with each other and, within reach anytime you need anything or have any questions with regards to the hospital or, healthcare. I am available. I'm your neighbor, and so I'm excited. I'm really happy, and I thank you for the interest to join our island as a very vital member as CME. So thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you, Administrator.
So Dr. Su, that is the commission members, and it's your opportunity to introduce yourself to them as well.
Okay. My name is Kenny Stu. I graduate from Taiwan, China Medical University. I took my clinical training in neurology first. Then I was an immigrant to America. I took my residency training of pathology at Indiana University. And then I took my subspecialty training of neuropathology at UCLA. And then I took my forensic pathology training at Los Angeles County. I worked there for 2 years, and then I moved to Sacramento, California. As being a forensic pathologist, I worked there for 5 years, and after that, I moved to Dallas, Texas. I was the chief medical examiner of Collin County, and I worked for 2 years. Yeah, that's about me.
Very good. Thank you, Dr. Su.
So at this point, there may be questions from the commissioners, so we can go one at a time in the same order that we did for introduction.
Hi, this is Dr. Amrale. Thank you for your introduction. Are you currently working at the Collin County Medical Examiner's Office?
Yes.
And I was going through your CV, and thank you for providing that to us. You graduated from medical school and did your Master of Medical Science in 2003. And I was wondering what is the activities between 2003 and 2009?
Yeah, between 2003 and 2009, I work at drug, the Center of Drug Evaluation in Taipei, and I also went to New York City to prepare my medical license exam.
Can you clarify which place was that?
The Center of Drug Evaluation is in Taipei, Taiwan.
Or just.
Well, let's do this. Let's have an interactive discussion. So any board member or any commission member that wishes to ask a question, please just ask. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, AG Moylan. Dr. Su, Therese Ariola, Public Health. You've been in Texas for a couple of years. Other than the interest of being a chief examiner to Guam, is there any other particular interest bringing you this part of the world? It seems like you're pretty settled in the United States. You've been in the United States in various states. I'm just curious, besides the job offer, is there anything that draws you to our island? I'm asking this question because I would love to see our next medical examiner to be here for a long time. And so my question is very selfish in that respect. So I'm just curious if there's, other than the job offer, is there anything else that enticed you to apply for the position?
Yeah, I think that's an important question. First, my voice actually is in recovery stage, so it's better than last month actually. It's going to be better. And second, for your question, yes, this is the second time I apply this job. Guam is close to Taiwan, where I came from. So I traveled there too, but that's 20 years ago. I like the place, and it's 3.5 hours flight to Taiwan. So it's closer to my motherland country. The weather is similar too. My mom is 90 years old, so I can be closer to my mom too. So that's why last time I applied, but because my kids are still in high school, so there are difficulty for us to relocate. But now they are in their college now, so me and my wife are free to relocate. And besides that, I like swim, so I like the weather and the seashore in Guam. So I think I'll be happy to work and stay there. However, I believe that this is a mutual relationship between the medical exam office and the authority too, because for me, it's from the largest medical exam office from Los Angeles to Guam is the smallest office in America, I think. So I think the mutual relationship between me and the Post-Mortem committee, we have to work closely together to make it better. Yeah.
Very
Thank
nice.
you so much.
Hi, Dr. Sue, is Chief Ignacio. So I have a question. How many police officers or sheriffs do you work with currently in Dallas? And how would you describe your working relationship with the police departments that you engage with?
There are several city and there are city police departments and county police department too. We work close together, especially for the homicide department. Last year, there's a famous shooting. I think it's on the news. The Alamo shooting case. There are 8 people died in the mall, and the shooter was shot down at the scene. So that was done by me alone, including two Mexican and 3 Korean family. So yeah, I think the pattern of criminal act is changing, and the criminals are traveling too. So though I believe the homicide rate in Guam is low, however, we still have to prepare when it is needed in the future.
Dr. Sue, this is Lillian Posadas at GMH. I have 2 questions. There's a gap in your work experience between 2017 to 2023. Is there a particular reason what happened there?
2017.
Yes, between 2017 to 2023, your work experience here?
2017 to 2023.
23.
That was the period I worked at Sacramento County.
Okay.
So
Right.
I worked here for about 5 years.
Yeah, it says here from 2015 to 2017, you worked as a forensic pathologist in Sacramento. But after 2017 to 2023, I don't see any work experience. Maybe it's a typo error.
Yeah, I think it's the type of error. Let me clarify it. From 2014 to 2017, I worked at Los Angeles County, including 1 year of subspecialty training in forensic pathology. From 2017 to 2023, I worked at Sacramento County, California, as being a forensic pathologist. 2023 to this year, I work at Dallas County. I work at Dallas, the Collin County, as the chief medical examiner.
Very good.
Thank you. Right.
Thank you very much, Administrator. And thank you, Dr. Sue, for clarifying that. Dr. Sue, and I apologize in advance because, I'm I'm obviously the head of the prosecutors, where we're going to be using your services if you were to work for us. So you're going to be put before the juries as you're being your whole career, I'm sure. And I think I saw that you go before juries in order to help the people prove their cases against certain defendants. Do you have any issues that, at least as a prosecutor, that we should be aware of that might impeach your credibility? And when I do that, and by the way, when I speak with my recruits from interviewing for attorneys, I normally go through the basic questionnaire because we are the chief law enforcement office on Guam. Do you have any prior arrests, prior convictions? Have you ever been ethically sanctioned? Stuff like that. So is there anything that you see that could cause our people or the Attorney General's office to be concerned about if we used you as a expert witness and, the pathologist? Can you talk about anything that I should be concerned about?
No, there is no complaints to the medical boards in California and Texas. There is no issue of my testify history. So far, I did autopsy about 3,000 cases during my 10 years work experience, and I testify about 100 times. And though for those cases I've done, it's including about 400 homicide cases. There was no issue between me and the DA office.
Very good. So for purposes of impeachment, there's nothing that you could see that would cause the district attorneys or anybody a concern in your history to date. That's my understanding.
Correct. There's no issue.
So, Dr. Su, some of the questions I was asked earlier, like why are you coming to Guam? That's perfectly, that's exactly why I would think you would want to live on Guam, because of our location and closeness to Asia. We're obviously concerned on your. Do you have any time frame that you're looking at living on Guam? If we were able to come to an agreement, should we be concerned? What I'm hearing from you is your kids are finished with high school now. You'd like to be close to your mom. You're looking at maybe relocating your wife and you coming over here, things like that. Any timeframes that we should be aware of that you're looking at serving us here?
Yeah, I have booked my air ticket to Guam next month, 28th. So I think I emailed to Fred. My
The one-way
start
ticket. I take it.
date. Yes, that's one-way ticket. So, but I will go to Taiwan first to meet my mom, and then I will go to Guam on 28th.
Okay, yeah. So Dr. Su, maybe I'll ask it this way. Are you planning on retiring anytime soon or leaving your profession, or if you were served us? Anything immediately that you're aware of that serving us for a certain amount of time and then wrapping up the practice or doing anything?
No, I'm looking for a long-term working relationship too.
Thank you. Thank you.
Can I make a suggestion? This is Dr. Abrali. So because he's going to be working in the CME office, maybe we should have staff from the CME office tell him about what it's like to work there, what their resources, and maybe you would have questions.
Yes, doctor. So I have a note here. Before we have Joanna and Nikki here. How many people did you manage in your experience in your offices that you were the head of as a CME?
Well, my office in Dallas, it's a middle-sized office. 2 medical examiners, 8 investigators, and 3 autopsy technicians, and also 2 administrative secretaries. The way I lead the office is that we share the cases between me and the other doctor, and monthly we have a meeting and we discuss about the important and interesting cases. So everyone in our office can understand what's important things we cannot miss. And also we will be at the same page about handling cases. And all of my investigators, they are glad that they can learn more, which is different from the prior chief medical examiner. Uh, uh, we uh, we are uh, we are work and learning in office together.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Su. So, Joanna, did you have questions of Dr. Su? Or did you want to explain your role and what? Dr. Su, have you ever been to Guam and with the CME's office? You never visited Dr. Nine when he was here, have you?
I haven't visited Dr. Nine, but I text to him often for about 1 month. So he told me about the details of the office. For the office, I video connecting with Joanna a couple weeks ago, and she showed me the office of from the office side to the hospital side. So I think I have a glance of the office already.
Okay.
It's good to know. If I can, hi, Dr. Su, Teresa Ariola. Thank you for mentioning that because I think, we want to make sure that you're, with your extensive explanation of the number of staff you had in the past and maybe the size of the office, I'm glad that you mentioned that you've already connected with the staff like Johanna and Nikki perhaps, and that you had at least a Zoom view of how the office looks. So there's no surprises to you. And yet you still desire to move to Guam. So thank you for that.
Dr. Su, do you have any questions of us right now?
Yeah. I think Dr. Nai mentioned that for the investigators, does the post-mortem committee pass the additional investigator yet?
Yes, the amendment to the budget bill.
I'm sorry, just because can you speak into the mic? Identify yourself and then speak into the mic. So Dr. Su.
Mic for her.
You might want to stand there so you can.
Okay.
Seen by Dr. Su here.
Trying to move over. On this side?
Sorry. Hi, I'm Erin Grayjack. I'm the committee director for Senator Chris Barnett. He did write a bill about hiring medical legal examining investigators. And it has recently been put into the fiscal year budget bill that has already passed. So it has passed and it is in the budget bill.
How many do we have funded now?
I'm really not sure about the numbers or the funding.
It's
but
unfunded.
yeah, it's unfunded, yes.
But you said you created the positions.
The bill, the law indicates for Department of Administration to create the positions.
They'll be-
So
Okay,
what's
and-
your time frame for this? Would you estimate this?
I don't believe there's.
So there is a bit of a question mark, although the positions have been created. There's probably gonna be some sort of a bureaucracy involved on trying to actually bring them in, and then who's available and would meet the standards. So yes, Dr. Su, I know that having been the AG, Senator Barnett, Chairman Barnett has been very active along with the team, Dr. Nine and Joanna. So, and I have to say this from our perspective, that like in Taiwan, which is an industrialized community government, the Guam is usually limited in its resources and it goes right down to the people too. Hence our applying off island for a CME. I don't know of any person that's been a resident of Guam that has become a CME to come back to our community. You know, I'm grown up on Guam, and I was sent to the education by the University of Guam to become an attorney. So I take it you understand you're coming into a community where making more with less seems to be a motto among we leaders, where we try to deal with what we have, whether it's budget, personnel. I'm hearing you say things like you want to bring Guam's standard up to equivalent to what a state would be. We're the smallest in the nation. To take us up to at least a Rhode Island or some Hawaii maybe in terms of our capability, our service to the community. And from my perspective, again, and the chief of police, to ensure that when we go forward on a case, to prove a case, that you're going to be the top-notch CME that you appear to be, based on your CV and everything else we're discussing. So I take it you understand that type of environment that you're going to be coming into in our community. We're very encouraged to have you as an applicant. That's why we're talking now, is for you to ask us the questions and for us to be able to help you from our perspective.
Yeah, I understand the resource can be limited. I told Johanna that we will work together to make it better. I do need the Post-Mortem committee to help on this too, because in the future we need to make it better, because the criminal is getting more skillful too. So
Yes.
we have to strengthen our quality too. Otherwise, it will be difficult at the court. So I do need your support too.
Thank you. You have my support, and I think I speak on everybody here. We have a unanimous quorum. That's how important unanimous attendance today you are to us and to our community, quite frankly. The medias are very much covering our effort to bring people of your caliber into our community.
Yeah, thank you.
AG Moylan, I'm not sure if this is the appropriate time, but since we have Senator Barnett's staff with us, and I understand that the budget bill has passed and that allows the creation of the investigator position. As Ms. Bamba from the Chief Medical Examiner mentioned, it is unfunded. So I also understand that the legislature is entertaining a supplemental budget. And if I could recommend to this body that we support a motion and request that those positions upon be considered funded in the supplemental budget that I understand that the legislature is going to entertain soon. What we don't want is we don't want the positions to be created and then be stuck halfway. We need the funding. And so I think as a means of supporting Dr. Sue, if this is where we're going to go to, I think we need to support also the funding of those positions for the medical examiner's office.
Joanna, is that page 27 of our packet? Is that the funding for these investigator positions?
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken.
That is for 2 medical legal death investigators. Yeah.
So, Director Arreola, are you making a motion that
What page?
this would be page 27?
27. Yes, let me flip. I didn't realize that it's already being
Thank you.
proposed, but I would like, and I think it's very timely in the discussion process, that I would like to propose that the positions that have been included in the Budget Act of FY25 for DOA to be created will also be funded. What we don't want is for positions to be created and then there's no funding source. So we need to follow it through. So that would be my recommendation.
And we'll make that a motion then?
Yes, I motion to for the commission to support that funding be sought by the Guam legislature in the supplemental FY 25 budget. That is, I understand it will be entertained soon, for the amount of $226,018 to fund the 2 medical investigator positions. That's my motion.
Any discussion? Joanna, what is the amount that is being sought for potential supplemental budget?
The 267,000 plus.
Is
But
that
again,
inclusive
that's just
of,
for 2 medical legal death investigators and a clerk.
Okay, thank you for that clarification. To support the medical examiner's office, to strengthen the efforts of what they do for our people, I would like to amend my motion, and it's to, and proffer another motion. And that is for the body to approve $267,339 for 2 medical examiner investigation and 1 clerk for the office of the medical examiner, that we propose our support and our recommendation to the Guam legislature at the next possible budget discussion.
Very good.
That's my motion.
Thank you, Director. Do we have a second? Thank you, Administrator. Any further discussion? So without further discussion, anybody opposed? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Unanimous. So that motion passes. Dr. Su, you're seeing law in motion here, where we just passed the resolution, and we have Senator Barnett's representative here. So, and I can tell you that the legislature is in full support of this office from my observations. So, commissioners, our next part of this discussion will be on the obviously offering Dr. Su an amount. I am informed that the budget amount is 350,000. That was the amount that Dr. Nine had mentioned to be the absolute minimum. And we use Dr. Nine obviously as our expert for purposes of recruiting. Now, Dr. Su, that is the budget. I understand that you do have a concern that you wish to be given an offer of 400,000. Commissioners, let's discuss this further. Dr. Su, on the table right now, we have 350, and that is in the budget. So we could actually enter into a contract immediately with that amount. May we receive a comment from you on where will we be at if we were to approve you for purposes of the CME, and then to make an offer to you? Would 350 be acceptable as an entry amount?
So that's negotiable or not?
It is negotiable, Doctor, and thank you for saying that. We clearly are interested in your service to our community, our people. You obviously have worked with governments. You know that everybody usually goes to the legislature for budgets. They make their case, and then we're able to function from that point. I've talked to Fred, my own team here, and I think all the board members are in agreement. This is negotiable, but our ability to get you in the next few weeks is limited by the bureaucracies of our government and the legislature convening. I'm not even sure when they're going to be entertaining the supplemental budget. And I know on Guam, you know, sometimes they say a date and then it gets pushed off and things like that. So is it possible that we can bring you in at 350 with the commission's support of pushing a figure of 400 with our senators, and we can even structure your contract with that type of, I guess, the tiered, the provisions in an offer, an agreement with you. But on the table right now, what that we're able to do by passing a vote today is to have your commitment, draft an agreement, and then your review and approval to a $350,000 salary as of October, if that's my understanding of what you were saying. that you could be available in October for this community. Thereafter, in the resolution, we would put a request to the legislature that they increase the amount to 400,000. In this budget bill that we just, I'm sorry, the budget resolution we just authorized, I could have a motion made and request the commissioners to make a motion to increase it by 50,000.
Seek
With-
additional funding. That's right.
Right, to seek additional funding for an additional 50,000. And the contract that I would propose that we would send to you would have a tiers type system. That if you're okay for 350,000 for the next, I'll leave that figure up to you, maybe the next 3 months, and then further negotiation would be on your contract, that sort of thing. We could structure it that way. I'm not sure if you're using an attorney from your perspective, but I mean, I'm very open in terms of we can craft this agreement to what you wish and that we can agree to. And quite frankly, as the Attorney General of Guam, it would be improper for me to sit over a commission where we actually make a commitment when the legislature has not authorized to do so. So it's with that humble approach that I take with you that I can, our commission has the ability to offer you a $350,000 contract. How long it is and those other things I just spoke of would be up to you to decide as well.
Yeah,
And if
that
I can
sounds,
add, A.G. Moylan, I want to emphasize what A.G. Moylan mentioned. We can move another motion to ask for a supplemental for your position. But until then, as you know, we've only are limited to what's in the budget that the Attorney General had mentioned. And so similar to our support and our proposal for the positions to be entertained in the next budget talks, I think we would all be in favor of proposing an additional funding for your higher position, but understanding that right now to bring you in, it's limited to the budget at hand, which is 350?
350 for this
350.
evening. Doctor?
Yeah, I had a question. So do these negotiations have to be done in this committee for the open government law? Can they be done after this meeting with your office? I'm not sure about the hiring it.
And no, the open government law, especially when it comes to compensation for employees, must be discussed. So if you did want to do something like that, you need to list what the cap is you're looking for and saying we authorize, for example, if that was have the AG to negotiate further. But there are some things that are set in law. Compensation is one. I know Dr. Su, you had asked about retirement and if it can be changed to like law enforcement. The answer to that is it's also set by law, just like our Leave Act is set by law. So with regard to your request for retirement, that would have to be taken up with the legislature as well. So in case you didn't know, Dr. Su had asked if his type of retirement package could be similar to law enforcement chief, which allows people to retire earlier, law enforcement to retire earlier. Our law just doesn't allow that, Dr. Su, right now.
So if it is an amount for the contract, what is contract
No, doctor, this is we do have a contract with the Guam Memorial Hospital for their facility services that they provide to our office, as well as for our database system. So this is for other operational services that is provided by our office and in need of our office. It also for a forensic laboratory. So that's pretty much what it's for. I did cover a small amount of $10,000 just for a locum tenant in the event we do need a limited coverage. That's also covered. So. So the 451,000 is for the total of the 4 positions that you see here listed under personnel. The chief medical examiner part-time is for the remaining contract under Dr. Jeffrey Nine, who is currently the medical examiner. And his contract will be ending October 31st. So his contract amount, break it down even further, is budgeted for only 14,000 for October. Correct.
So, Dr. Sue, are we able to discuss a potential relationship with you? Are we in the ballpark for what you were hoping to get?
Yeah, I agree with A.G. Moylan about the suggestion.
Okay, Dr. Sue, is it my understanding that we can hire you, enter into a contract at 350,000? Are we looking at a limited period of time and then we increase the amount? And I can tell you right now, the increase would be as soon as we can get it through the legislature. Okay?
Yes, I understand.
So, and you would have the force and effect of a resolution from the commission to send that to our speaker and to the oversight chairman, Arnett.
Yes, I agree.
Okay, so
So in addition, Dr. Sue, the government of Guam does offer to make a payment for some traveling expenses and relocation. I can let you know too that that provision goes prorate. In other words, if it's a 2-year initial contract and you work only 1, then you would have to refund the government of Guam if you don't complete the full term.
Fred, can you explain exactly what the benefits would be? You said we could pay what in advance for Dr. Sue?
So the travel, the relocation.
How much is the full relocation amount?
No, there's a limitation, but it might be a little bit different for doctors. Sorry, I'm not.
For lawyers, Dr. Sue, I'm used to speaking 2,500 pounds.
Right.
That's usually what I tell my lawyers when they're coming over. I can pay your plane ticket and your 2,500 pounds. And unfortunately, that doesn't include a car. I know some of them, they increase it a little, they could get a car here.
So actually, Director Posadas can actually speak to that because she works all the time with doctors and theirs are slightly different. I don't know the details.
Yeah, we do. I don't.
Okay.
Cost to take them of my fire. But you're right, the one way airfare ticket, 2 weeks of a hotel accommodation for the individual to get settled into a permanent home, 2 weeks of a car, rental car. And so those are generally, in terms of the house or the household,
good.
it's 2,500 or 2,800 pounds household goods that you have to help pay for the relocation.
So Dr. Sue, what we'll do is I'll have Fred send you the our statutory offerings that we can reimburse you or pay in advance for. We'll work out the logistics. But yes, so that's the additional to get you into our community as soon as possible.
Okay.
The airfare also includes the family.
Very good. I'm about ready to copy whatever legislation the doctors have for the attorneys because we don't get anywhere close to that to get lawyers over here.
Okay.
So
very
I guess
nice.
your family as well, doctor, would be included.
Okay.
Okay, so Fred, in terms of, I think we're gonna need a motion to allow us to draft miscellaneous provisions on this, other provisions that Dr. Sue may have. So can you craft a motion that maybe one of the commissioners could?
Sure. At this point, if a commissioner would offer a motion to make an offer to Dr. Sue based on the terms that were just negotiated, and to include those provisions that are statutory, annual leave, sick leave, and so forth, for the travel in accordance with GMH's practices for doctors. And let's do that motion first.
And before, Dr. Sue, if this is agreeable to you and assuming we get the contract to you in a timely manner, what is your start date you're looking at?
Yeah, the start date is October 28th. Yeah, it's Monday.
Thank you.
Dr. Su, so as we all understand, we have a confirmation from you about the current discussed deal. And then I would like to make that motion. That Attorney,
Thank you. Thank you, Doctor. So, second the motion?
Sorry, by
Discussion.
the way, the medical license, the medical board had informed me that the medical license has passed.
Excellent.
That they
Yes.
passed, very good. So you will be
And I will
licensed.
confirm that.
Very good, thank you. We have all the players in their government in front of you. So, Dr. Sue, that means that you will be licensed as of October 28 when you arrive on Guam. Or in the office, I guess.
Yes,
You're ready. He's already licensed.
He's already licensed, very good. Very
He's
good.
already licensed.
Yeah, so he'll be
Very
ready.
nice.
Okay,
Falling
So,
into place.
discussion on this,
No, but
motion.
if Dr. Umbrali can just reiterate his motion, restate his motion.
Motion to offer the position for the Chief Medical Examiner for Guam. And as per the salary we just negotiated with the provision of addition of supplemental 50,000 when we have provisions from the legislature. And with all the statutory offerings and benefits that are offered through the Office of the Attorney General and the Island physicians.
I'm sorry, and if I could do one other thing, so we don't have to get all the members of the commission to necessarily sign it, given that if it would be okay for the Attorney General to sign off on the contract on behalf of the commission, that I would just say.
I
Yes.
agree.
Okay, so that's fine. And may I also, just in case there's any glitches, that I respectfully ask that our office be given the ability to negotiate miscellaneous provisions. And I think everything else would be kind of miscellaneous. Is there anything else substantively? No. And duration is always important. Do we have an idea of Dr. Sue, what our duration for this contract? Do we just have it as is that our normal standard? What was Dr. Nine?
3
say?
years.
3 years.
3 years.
Very good. So Dr. Sue, would that be acceptable? A 3-year agreement to be drafted for your review?
yes,
Thank you. And then I take it we would be renewable? Do we entertain at the next future board meeting? Or does this have a?
It's indicated in the contract,
Excellent.
subject for renewal.
Dr.
After 3
Sue,
years.
do you have the benefit of Dr. Nine's agreement? Have you
no,
seen
I
that?
don't have that.
I'm sure we can,
Well,
sure we can find it.
my deputy will have it sent to you, Dr. Sue, for you to reflect on as we're drafting. I believe we're probably going to use that as a template for your agreement.
Okay,
Okay, so with that being said, it's a 3-year, it's on the table as a motion from Dr. Umbrali. Is there no further discussion?
No.
Okay, let's take a vote. All in favor, raise your hand, right hand. Unanimous. Dr. Sue, we will now be working towards getting you the draft agreement for your review and consideration. I hope to have that by early next week. We'll circulate it among the commission members as well, so that we can get this moving. And thank you for your. Yes, so, but thank you, Dr. Sue, for your assisting us to get to this place. Now, there's another motion that would be in order. We want to do this with you present, Dr. Sue, to show that it is my commitment and the commitment of the commission members to pass another resolution to increase the budget request for the supplemental budget by another 50,000. So may I entertain a motion to that effect?
Yeah, before we do that resolution though, if we increase the salary by 50, does that affect the benefits, the increase in benefits? So do we need a
Yes, it does.
calculation for that?
Well, yeah, good
Yes.
point.
So maybe we
50
can,
plus, and I think maybe the legislature will
benefits?
figure that out.
Okay,
Because the 50,000 would just be the base salary,
right?
and then whatever
Yeah, but there's an,
percentage
yeah,
that comes
there's an
with
effect on
everything else.
benefits. Yeah.
right.
I'm
So
not
right-
quite sure, it doesn't come to my mind, but I know there's a percentage that we're using for FY '25.
I don't know, it's 33.3 because there's retirement plus leave.
Medical leave and all those things that you will be availing to. So maybe we can, the motion could just be 50,000 base salary.
Plus
There you
32.30,
go.
22% for
30%.
benefits. 32.22% for benefits.
Yeah, because there's a new calculation for FY '25.
That's
Yeah,
correct.
so the motion would be to increase the salary by $50,000 in a resolution to the legislature in the supplemental budget hearing that's upcoming, plus the additional 33.25,
32.22%.
33, yeah, for benefits. Yeah, I think that'll be negotiated in the contract that we're going to give a timeline.
Okay,
Okay, so, yeah, so that's my motion.
so we have a
Second.
motion. Do we have a second?
Second,
Director Ariola seconds. Any further discussion?
None.
Yes,
This is a supplemental budget is not approved. Can we build in some mechanisms to still make sure he gets the appropriate compensation?
yeah, that goes back to our statutory authority. Let's address it when that, if and when that happens. I'm very hopeful that this has been such a issue for our community, and I would advocate very strongly with the speaker and all the other senators that Dr. Sue is making a commitment to us as a community, and how important it is, at least to the chief and myself, as well as I believe everybody at this commission table. And I'm willing to go before a public hearing in favor of Dr. Sue. So, okay. The further discussion on this motion. This is our third motion, I believe, of today. So let's raise our right hands in favor of the motion. Unanimous. Dr. Sue, this is the third motion that we've passed, and it's in support of the CME's office. And I thank you for your having attended this meeting. And if there's any other comments from our board, our commission members.
final comments. I can't wait to welcome you to Guam. Thank you very much for your interest.
Thank you very much.
We're excited to have you, and we are all here to support you in any way that you think that you need our help. And we'll be, this commission is going to meet frequently to assess how things are going with you. And as a physician on the community, I welcome you, and we hope to meet in person soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. Okay, so at this point, unless you wanted to stay and listen to the further discussion, Dr. Sue, I believe these were all the matters pertaining to getting you into our community. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good night, and we welcome you soon. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.
So, commissioners, let's get back to the agenda so we can wrap this up. We're at the old or unfinished business. We have no old or unfinished business according to my notes here. New business. Dr. Nine is going to be resigning. He's given a letter of resignation per his earlier notices to us. The can be found on page 22 of the packet. October 31 is the his requested resignation date. And I believe, Dr. Sue and their earlier discussions, I think they're
Yeah.
targeting to make sure there's a smooth transition for our community. So I appreciate Dr. Nine's helping us make this
I have a
handoff.
question. Was there like a exit interview, or was there any issues that Dr. Nine brought up about the functioning, or anything that would help the office?
I believe Dr. Nine's actually going to be here in a few days, right? tomorrow or something?
Tomorrow.
Yeah, nothing that I'm aware of in terms of problems. He's actually made it for a very smooth transition in all respects. I have a suspicion that he may actually continue after this. I think there's some discussion about having resources available in you know, an outreach. For whatever reason, we need his help.
He's open to that as well, was still assisting Guam
Yes.
if he can.
The reason why I didn't want to bring it up earlier is I know we're budget limited. So if we were to continue this, having, I guess, the Hawaii CMEs available to us and even Dr. Nine, it's not in our budget. Because
Right.
We've just given 350,000.
So it's always nice to have a backup or a part-time because everyone needs a vacation. What's going to happen when Dr. Sue goes on a vacation?
Right.
And so we might want to entertain as a commission the ability to have some contractual dollars built into the annual budget for those things. I know it's kind of like we're watching every dollar and
Yes.
we're going back to the legislature for even in the increase of the negotiation. But I think it behooves us commissioners to consider some contingency dollars for.
Like a slush fund for money that we could spend without having to ask the senators again.
Mhm.
Let's consider that if you want to put in a
Something to
formal
that
motion
effect. I mean,
or
yeah,
we have we all know
we
how
have
the
the
senators
time
go.
to ask. I
Mhm.
mean, there's another ability to ask. I just,
Director, may I propose this?
Mhm.
Can we ask Joanna to just kind of look at our experience today, maybe talk to both Dr. Sue, Dr. Nine? What amount would they recommend that we ask the senators? That would be
Yeah.
appropriate for us.
Yeah, just to see if we need it, like depending on how much vacation it is and how many days do we are we looking to fill in. That way we can budget.
Vacation.
Yeah.
We're all
Whatever the-
humans, you might
Right.
get sick and need a week off.
Not only that, but when there's a case like that one time where a person got killed and it was a homicide, the family could not proceed with giving their loved one a dignified burial because we had to wait.
Wait,
Right.
and that's, I know exactly what you're saying.
Exactly.
Thank you. So can you put together something, a recommended extra amount? We can bring it up at the next commission meeting. Thank you.
Did you want that in a detailed,
Why don't you talk to Dr. Nine and Dr. Sue and just give us a figure what they'd be looking at and how much money that they would like to have available for
Or
that
like maybe an
contingency.
on-call CME, or I'm not
Right.
sure what we call it, but.
Because we already have the Hawaii the CMEs available,
Mhm.
just I don't know
I
what
see.
they would,
But
but
what
we
would they
can't,
charge, right?
can't pay them
Still
now.
need to
Right.
fund them. We would still need those dollars in the event that we have to tap them. We still would need some
Sure.
funding. So yeah, then once we get that, I think what the AG is leaning on is then proposing a resolution.
Yes,
Am I correct?
I think, yes. I think we can all just kind of look at the figures and then look at the next step.
Yeah.
But again, all I'm looking at is that we're taking baby steps here.
Yeah.
We had Dr. Nine take us through this phase. Now we've got hopefully a commitment that we'll be able to get a signed ink document for October 28th forward. And then gives us some time to sit back and analyze. Thank you. So the second item is recruitment of new. We took care of that. Sorry.
Sorry.
Do we
While
need to
we're on
accept
Dr.
the
Nine's
letter?
resignation, one of the things I was going to ask if the commission can approve. So right now, the contract with Dr. Nine entails him coming out to Guam at a contractual rate. It's unusual for the doctor to charge us and then sign off on his own charging. So we're going to ask, and this has happened with the previous two AGs when we didn't have a chief medical examiner present, where the AG or the AG's office signs off on the travel expense. So when he invoices us for travel, and this shouldn't happen, but for example, if there was a gap on time and Johanna needed to take leave, that somebody has to approve her leave. So those type of administrative things, while there shouldn't be a gap, but because Dr. Nine has already submitted two invoices, right? Two sets of invoices. He's been here twice since he left, as part of his contract. But the invoicing he did submit, so what I'm asking, asked AG if we could put in here authority from the commission to go ahead and approve those.
Review and approve it. Yeah.
Yeah, not necessarily the AG, but our office, our process.
I would not be, I wouldn't have an issue with that.
I do.
Somebody needs to sign off and,
Correct. And it shouldn't be Dr. Nine because his invoice, right? He should, right.
right, I see what you mean. I
Yeah.
see what you
And
mean.
this is what we've done in the previous
Yes.
two AGs as well,
Right.
when we didn't have.
Definitely.
medical examiner.
Sure.
We can't be signing off of our own
So is that a
invoices.
resolution?
Yeah, so I'm asking if the board could actually take action on it, so we
Sure.
put it officially, so, you know, so it's not how come the AG's office is signing off on something.
Sure.
for medical
I
examiner.
can make that motion. I propose a motion that the Attorney General's office be the authority to sign off on invoices submitted and leave requests submitted by the Chief Medical Examiner on behalf of the commission.
Further discussion? And this is my understanding for Dr. Nines, right?
As well,
We're talking about Dr. Nine
and the future.
in the future.
Dr. Sue too.
Yeah, and the reason why is, I have all believe that it's gonna happen, but in case there's that short 1 week gap and Johanna has to take off and, you know, some kind of leave that someone can approve it, it's not,
Right. So
Dr. Nine won't be our chief medical examiner.
Director Ariola is talking about when Dr. Sue does start. Is that the process? too?
So when he's here, then no problem.
Yeah, probably.
It's
It's
just
when
in
there's,
case, because we won't have this opportunity to address it again.
okay.
But for sure, the two invoices that Dr. Knight submitted already, that is with the assessment. That's something
Okay.
Dr. Seward comes on board to sign.
So it's only when there's no CMU on island.
Right, actually, it's just this
Then
one
it's-
period of time.
Just the one period. We'll limit it
Okay,
to
so
the
it's
one
just
period.
All right.
understood, one period of time.
Yeah.
So, so that's my motion.
Very good. Do we have a second to the motion?
Second.
Thank you, Chief. So further discussion? All opposed, nay, all in favor, yay?
Okay,
Right.
Yay.
in favor.
Yes.
Okay, so motion passed unanimously. The next one is we've resolved whether we're going to announce the position further. Reports and updates from Dr. Nine. Dr. Nine is not here today, so we'll just table that one. Budgetary update from Joanna. Have we exhausted everything you needed for now?
Yes,
Okay, thank you. And thank you, Joanna, for all the hard work you've been the pilot, taking care of a lot of this work.
Yes, thank you.
The status of the locum tenants.
we currently have a contract with Dr.
Daughter.
Philip Dotterman over from CNMI. He comes in for non-homicide cases under the arrangement with Dr. Nine.
Very good. So no problems, and we have the funding.
No issues.
Thank you. And finally, I think we already took care of Dr. Sue, so unless there's any further issues that any of our commission members wish to raise, I will adjourn the meeting.
Motion to adjourn?
And I third it. Any opposition?
No,
Okay, thank you.
Thank
thank you.
You took care of some business today. Good
Hard
job,
work.
team.
Yeah.
Big business.
Yeah, thank you all.
So we leave this, right?
You can take